You know, another question that I get a lot is, what is earnest money and how does it get applied? And I'm going to answer that question for you right now. Hey everybody, my name is Britt Dowling and I'm a real estate agent in Montgomery, Alabama with Wallace Moody Realty, and I'm so glad you're watching this video. So one of the questions that we get a lot is, what exactly is earnest money? How does it get applied? Where does it go? How do we deal with it? And I'm going to answer that question for you in just a little bit. But if you like these videos, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to the channel so that you can see more of these videos in the future. So earnest money is also called good faith money or a good faith deposit. And basically what it is if you as a buyer are going to buy a house, the seller is going to want you to put down some money so that you have some skin in the game. Usually it's around $500 to $1,000 depending on the price of the home. If it's a lower priced home, $500 typically does the trick. On a higher priced home, $1,000 does the trick. I've heard instances of somebody putting down like $30,000. I don't recommend that, but we can talk about why in just a minute. But I wouldn't recommend putting down $30,000. So again, it's just a deposit to show that you're serious about the purchase of the home, that you're not just messing around, you're not just putting in an offer to see if they'll accept it, that you're actually putting money down. So where does that money go? It's either going to be held by the listing broker in their earnest money account, or it's going to be held by the closing attorney. One of the questions I've gotten before is, do I need to have the money in the account? Well, yes, you've got to have the money in the account because that check will get deposited and it will pull from your checking account. So if you don't have that money in there, it could cause a lot of problems. So yes, make sure that if it's $500, $1,000, or whatever it is, that you've got the money in the account to cover that check. So what happens to the earnest money at the closing? Well, it actually gets applied to the close of the home at the closing table. And you'll see that represented on the closing disclosure. Now, one of the questions that a lot of realtors don't cover, and it actually gets a lot of realtors in trouble, is, am I guaranteed to get the earnest money back? The answer is, you're not guaranteed the earnest money. So if you're the buyer and you make an earnest money deposit onto a house, $500, $1,000, which is why I say don't make more than about $1,000, because $1,000 at the very least, if you don't get that money back, nobody likes to lose $1,000, but it's a little bit easier to swallow than $5,000, $10,000, or $30,000 like I talked about earlier. So no, you're not guaranteed. I will say 99% of the time the earnest money gets returned. But here's the reason why earnest money wouldn't be returned. Say I'm the seller and you give me a $500 or $1,000 deposit and you back out of the deal. Well, I've taken my home off the market and missed out on a whole lot of opportunities that I actually could have sold the home. So I might consider that as payment for taking my home off the market. Now, most people aren't going to do that. Most people are actually going to return the money. There is the off chance the seller to keep the earnest money deposit. And the last question that a lot of people ask is, do I have to pay an earnest money deposit? The answer is no, you don't have to pay an earnest money deposit. But you do risk your offer not being accepted. Because again, it's showing that you have skin in the game. It's showing that you're not just playing around and that you're not just putting in an offer to see if they'll accept it or not. Well, hey, thanks for watching this video. If you've got more questions about the earnest money or even just the home selling process, I would love to answer those for you. If you haven't, sign up for my monthly newsletter. And if you haven't already, give the video a thumbs up. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thanks a lot.